Welcome to Rooster Booster Time, Rooster Boosters. We have with us the Butcher, Dylan Fawsitt, captain of the 2020 Roosters. Assuming he's going to be captain of the 2021 Roosters. Seems like all the guys love him. So here's Dylan Fawsitt. How are you, Dylan?
I'm great. Cheers, Scott. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Always a fan of you. Always a fan of the other guys. Love to talk to you guys. So are you staying in New York, or have you kind of moved out?
No, I'm here. Been in the apartment now for. This apartment's getting smaller. We're here in Hoboken here with my wife. So we're both. She's working from home. I'm supposed technically working from home, but it's yeah, getting smaller and smaller. But it's grand, you know.
I've seen you guys on social media. You're actually using the wife as a kettlebell, pretty much. I've seen.
Yeah. Squatting the missus.
Absolutely. So at least you're getting your workouts in. I'm stuck here also working from home. It is what it is. Me and my well, I'm not working from home. I lied. I do have to go in every so often, so I get a little break. But that's lucky. Knock on wood. Me and my wife get a little time apart. So really, this is part of a series of interviews I'm going to conduct with hopefully a bunch of Roosters. And, just so that you Rooster Boosters can kind of get to know the guys and stuff like that. So we're going to start off. My first question, Dylan, is who is your favorite sports hero?
Favorite sports hero growing up was Roy Keane. So this guy, he was the captain of Manchester United. I'm a big Manchester United fan, and there was no messing with Keane now.
Mm-hmm.
He was,
Absolutely.
So I mean, I enjoyed he was my hero growing up. So
awesome. So going into that, how come rugby and not football?
I probably wasn't built for soccer.
A little too thick for soccer, I bet.
Little bit, but I mean, when you're growing up in Ireland, you consistently have some sort of football in your hand. If you're not playing the Gaelic sports, you're playing soccer or you're playing rugby.
Mm-hmm.
And you develop all the skills necessary to be good at whatever you want to be. So I was great. I was very lucky. I had no upbringing where I was involved in so many sports. So I mean, developed my skills throughout the game.
Yeah, that's a big thing I know in America is not just having a child focus on one sport when they're younger. We have the 4 seasons here, and generally every kid is playing a different sport all 4 seasons. Excuse me. And I know as a coach, I coach American football. I like to see that our kids don't just focus on it. I like to see that they play baseball in the spring, and they run track in the summer and stuff. And I think it kind of rounds them out to decide what they want to do when they're older, which is nice. So I know the season was cut short, but what's the best part about competing in professional rugby?
Best part. Well, I think it's every schoolboy's dream to become, to have that as your, what you make a living. To be able to say that you're a professional rugby player is very special. But it doesn't come easy. I think every opportunity you get to step out on the field is pretty special. And you just got to make sure that you play like it's your last. I mean, you leave everything on the field. So just to be able to play and to be able to wear the crest on your chest, it's pretty special. To represent something bigger than yourself.
Absolutely. So. It's funny because Ben Foden just posted a couple scenes from the last time he scored points for the English team when he was wearing the rose, and he was talking about how much he'll miss it and how much he thoroughly enjoys watching it and knowing that he was able to be a part of it. So, I'm glad that everybody now that rugby is out of their life effectively because of this thing can go back and say that they had fun doing it. So it's really nice to see that you guys are just having fun. And even though you're professionals, you're still having fun because some professional athletes don't have that part anymore, unfortunately. So going back to the theme of what you were doing when the season was up and running. So I know Greg and Marty and Simon, they kind of run a tight ship at practice, but how do you and your teammates make practice fun?
I think the continuity and the flow of the training session is where it's become such a professional environment that when we go out there, we know exactly what we've got to do for every minute. So when we know we're getting down to work, we're still able to perform. Like, it's fun. Like, it's these are all enjoyable sessions. We're not doing anything for the sake of just doing it. Everything is planned. There's a reason for everything. So when we're able to execute and perform it, like, and every time you complete something, every time you complete a block, you get that sense of accomplishment and achievement, and you grow in confidence. Then it becomes second nature, and you just start enjoying yourselves, and you just have a laugh. It also helps when you're there with 35, 40 lads that you really like. You're there with your brothers.
Well, I mean, it's from what I've seen when you guys are practicing, while you guys do the work, you do have a little fun doing it. I mean, you see Patty doing a couple grubber kicks and stuff like that to make it interesting. But I think you're right. I think by not having to have the anxiety of what we're going to do next, and exactly what you're going to do going into it, you don't have to think about it, and you can actually enjoy what you're doing. I've enjoyed watching you guys practice. I'll put it that way. The couple practices I got to make. So eventually, hopefully in 2021, Rooster Boosters, you guys can make the practices. Generally, they're open to the public for the most part. And it's nice if you want to meet the guys after practice. They'll always stop for you. So Butch, this is an interesting one. I know you haven't had time to really look at these questions, but what is your favorite sports quote? It could be an announcer. It could be from a player. It could just be overall.
I think it comes back to Roy Keane. His mantra was, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. We just got to, and I've tried to live my life by it. There's plenty of times when I was younger, maybe tried to wing it, and I just didn't perform, and that wasn't what I'm about.
Absolutely.
So if I can get all the ducks in a row and make sure all the 1% are covered, well, then I can be the best I can possibly be. So.
Absolutely. Yep. I mean, listening to you at practice, and obviously you defer to the coaches when the coaches are saying something, but because you're a vocal leader, I've seen other guys step up and have decided that they're a vocal leader. Alex McDonald, pretty much all the front row will tell guys if they're not hustling enough. So I think from you, generally your greatest quote is, "What the fuck are you doing?" And generally, if you get one of those from the butcher, it means you're kind of screwing around and you need to get focused. So I do envy the fact that you can be the person who you want to be on this team, because I know a lot of guys can't on other teams. So again, I made this list before the 2020 season ended. But what's your favorite song to listen to prior to a match?
I don't have. I'm not. I don't know. My wife would say different, but I mean, I definitely have a few songs that I like to listen to in the morning, the games, to get me going. We have my wife and I, we have a ritual making the brekkie and just getting going, and she's looking at me as if I'm mad in the head. But I have a few good tunes to get me going. But before games and stuff like that, I more try to just revert to what we've done during the week. Just I've got my notebook there before a game.
Just focus on what you need to do. Yeah. No,
exactly.
Listen, I just
controlling controllables. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I definitely hear that. I mean, you seem to be a guy who's just fired up to go to practice. So I don't think listening to a favorite song is really going to fire you up. You always kind of go 110% anyway. So I can definitely understand just trying to crack down and focus on what you need to do and the adjustments you made for the week of practice. Here's another one. What's your favorite sports movie? It doesn't have to be a rugby movie, but just a sports movie in general. If you see something clicking by and you have to stop and watch it, what would it be?
I'm a passionate guy, so it's like anything that's going to stir the soul, I mean, oh, jeez, like the Bravehearts are always great and stuff like that,
Absolutely, that was a big one.
I definitely like my fantasy. My Lord of the Rings is my fantasy.
Oh, really?
I definitely big fan of that stuff. So it's I just something to take me away from maybe real life. Just something where you can escape. And then,
definitely.
So it's good. I'm a big fan of music. I'm a big fan of movies and stuff like that. at the right times, and they definitely, take
No,
you to a
definitely. I
different
mean, it
world
depends
when you're
on
not
how
thinking
you're
about the
feeling,
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
definitely.
definitely get that. It depends on how your flow's going. Here's a good one. This is a good question for you to answer. I think for the younger fans, how does being an athlete make you a better person?
I think it comes part and parcel with the game. Very lucky to be a part of this. I definitely feel like the rugby culture and the people that are involved in it definitely mold you into being the best, not just best rugby player you can be, but just best man you can be. Best woman. It's more. I think the core values of what we bring to the game is
Mhm.
it's quite special. And whenever I'm coaching my teams, or I promise also not just to make them good rugby players, it's just make them good people as well. When I'm coaching the kids, so it's no, I mean I'm very lucky to have been to be a part of this game, and it's given me so much, and I hope I can give back tenfold.
Well, I know as far as the fans are concerned, they love your personality on and off the pitch. They love that they could just come up to you on a social and just give you a handshake. And I think that's part of what makes every rugby player special and what makes the game special. I mean, you see it all the way from the Premiership in England all the way down to the MLR and now this new league down South America, where it doesn't matter how big of a professional athlete you are in this sport. If the fans are looking to just give you a high five, that you'll go out of your way to do it. So I think the rugby respect is really a big thing, like you were saying. The next question,
just
oh, I'm
on
sorry.
just on
Yep.
that just on that one, Scott. It's more like I mean, I'm lucky to be in a position where I'm the best job in the world. So I mean, if we didn't have the fans and we didn't have support, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So we owe so much to building a fan base, and having you and what you're doing with the Roosters is massive. So we're from all the Roosters. Playing on the field and being a part of the organization, we thank you so much, and we hope we only grow it. It only
Oh,
gets better.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, and the fans, we thank you guys for always putting out the best product you can on the pitch. Win, lose, or draw, we know the effort's there. So that's the only thing as a fan, I think, that we need is as long as the effort's there, we're always going to support you guys. So going back to match stuff, I know you're you go with the flow as far as your pre-match music, and you were talking about your pre-match breakfast with the wife. So what do you guys cook for a pre-match breakfast?
I actually, it's more the time. I'm not actually a brekkie eater. I don't really eat breakfast, to be honest. But before a meal, or before a game, I'll try to get in, like solid carbs, like maybe some oats. Get some eggs in. Definitely some peanut butter, stuff like that. Like just, but to be honest, I do like this intermittent fasting stuff.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah. So
I'm 8 hours on and 16 hours off. So ideally, I don't really like late games. I prefer the afternoon games. So I'm not
yeah,
too
because
empty.
it'll blow up your spot. Yeah, I could see how that
Exactly.
would be. Not yeah, the timing is terrible
But
on that.
it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable though. It's an enjoyable process. This also keeps
Mhm.
me accountable. I know what I'm putting into my body. I have my timings, and Joyce, my missus mad. She'd love to go out for some avocado toast, or go grab a coffee sometimes. Whereas like I'll definitely go, but I'm having black coffee. I'm not having
Right.
I'm not having my flat whites or my
Mhm.
I don't know, whatever breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's nice because it's funny now, especially with everybody kind of under quarantine and being inside. You're actually seeing what everybody is doing, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's 6 meals over the course of 12 hours. You're seeing people's workout routines and stuff. So I think it's kind of cool that we're actually getting more into different athletes' styles because everybody's different. Um, so I think I know what your answer is on this next question based upon the first couple questions you answered. But if you could play another professional sport, what would it be?
I'm a big. I mean, obviously, growing up, I would have wanted, I always wanted to play soccer for United, but as I get older now, and I've really found an enjoyment for golf, so
Really?
yeah, I mean, I love it, and I've been very lucky to have good mates that are involved in it as well, and growing up in Ireland, it was very accessible, so I mean, no matter how long I spend away from it, I can always pick up the club again and go back and play.
Hmm.
It's great. So yeah, no, definitely. I think I'd like to play. Golf would be my thing.
I mean, I think it would be a little less stressful in between professional matches, versus if you were a soccer player for Man United. I
Exactly.
could just imagine all the stress from from that. Personally, I'm terrible at golf. I can get the first like two holes in great, and then I hit one bad shot, and then that's it. I'm out of it. So I envy guys who can play golf well. I just don't have the patience for it, unfortunately.
I I think it's more that I was lucky that exposed to it early. I think it's the earlier the better.
Mhm.
Yeah, you pick it up a lot faster. So no, it was great. But it's funny
Oh,
actually.
going
I
back to
just
being under quarantine.
okay.
Yep. Oh, go ahead.
All right, yeah, no, just going back to what you were saying about seeing everybody in apartments and seeing what people are doing, and a lot of people are reverting to posting on social media, which is great. But I cook a lot. I cook all my meals, most of my meals, and my wife, she does all the working, so it's great. But it's funny, we've been home now the last 2 weeks or whatever, and the amount of times my fire alarm in the building goes off
Really?
because obviously people are seamless, or else they're eating in work or whatever they're doing, and they're not
Absolutely.
cooking. They're not cooking as often. And man, I'm telling you, the fire alarms in the building go off
Oh,
every
Jesus. I'm
every half an
sure.
hour. It's gas. It's gas.
I'm sure. I mean, luckily, both me and my wife cook, so knock on wood, we've been just kind of switching on and off. So that's one of the things we've kind of eased the tension. My wife can't go to work. She works at a children's hospital, and they've deemed her not essential because they don't want people to go in and infect these children, unfortunately. So she's kind of going stir crazy. I think she's 9 days now in the house. So me being home today from work is nice. I told her to just go for a drive real quick and just
Yeah,
calm
yeah,
down,
no, of course. Yeah,
Um, so we've had this MLR virtual 2020 tournament going on, and I like it. I'm a video gamer from when I was a child. I think it's good to keep fans engaged. Who do you player for Rooney? I know Connor Wild Sims is playing as Australia for us, but besides Connor, who do you think would be the best gamer on the team?
no, I can't see past Connor. I think he's doing a great job.
Mhm.
He's got a draw
A
and a
big win
big
last night,
victory
yeah.
there. Yeah, big win last night. So I can't see past him. I think he's doing a great job.
Nice. We got to keep up his confidence for the next round.
Yeah.
And I mean, at this point, Dylan, that's pretty much it. I'm so glad you could do this. I appreciate the way you interact with the fans, the way you interact with me, and thank you very much for coming on the show.
Absolutely, Scott. But just want to reiterate, just as the season did end abruptly, we want to just say to everybody, thank you so much for the support. We can't do what we're doing, and we want to build this to be the best team in the country. We want to represent New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, the tri-state area, whatever, to be the best that we can possibly be, and give a good account of ourselves for you guys. So, thanks again from all the boys, and thanks for having me on, Scott.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dylan.
Cheers. Good luck.